My name is Austin St. John, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I played Jason the Raid Ranger, second film Power Rangers Turbo. Been around the block. Most of what I'm going to talk about are my personal experiences, either on the street as a medic, been a firefighter, 12 years in the DC area, 4 years in the Middle East. I don't tell you that because it's all super critical. I give you that to give you a little bit of background so you understand a little bit more of my personal life where I gathered some of my insight, the angle I'm going to bring to addiction. I'm going to be pretty straightforward on a few pieces about this. I'm not going to sugarcoat a lot of it. One of the things that I really want to talk about are the personal experiences that I've had with extended family of my own. Man, I'm not a specialist. I don't rehab people. I don't know it all. Double check what I say because you need to educate yourself. And there are sources better than I am on absolute facts and details about addiction in general. I'm not here to be that guy or discuss those details and facts. I'm here to tell you about my experiences. As a medic in the US, DC area, I saw addiction in so many different forms. I've been on calls for alcoholics, both the binge drinkers, the guys who can't function at all, and guys is a general term. Opiate overdose, where people have stuck guns in your face. They're so well practiced at trying to get their opiates. Most ambulances carry morphine. They call 911 chest pain because they know they're gonna get a medic unit. You show up and they stick a gun in your face and they're like, give me your morphine. I've had calls to crack houses and they'll give you a description of this kind of male or this kind of female, possible overdose. You walk in and there's 15 men and women laying on the floor. They're all out. Which one overdosed? Which one do I take care of? The system gets mad at you if you turn around and you call what's called a mass casualty, because you don't call in 15 ambulances for 15 guys or girls who've overdosed on drugs. Because these guys, they're all gonna go into the hospital. It's gonna take up all these hospital beds instead of beds for guys who are having a heart attack, been shot, stabbed, had the auto accident, little girl with an asthma attack. All those guys are gonna get put to the side for these overdose patients. So that's a little of the psychology behind why you can have a crack house and why there aren't 15, 20 ambulances going in there to clear them all out. The system just can't. It just can't support it. Rule number one, if you're addicted, and you have a family, if you're not already, you will very soon, you're going to destroy them all. Get that through your head. And that doesn't mean they're all gonna die. It doesn't mean you're gonna beat them all. What it means is in here. It means in here. And you're never gonna know the true depths of how much you destroy your family because you're beholden to whatever it is you're addicted to. You need to understand that. You will never understand the impact that you have on loved ones, or people who love you, or people who are struggling to continue to love you. If you're the family member, somebody with an addiction, this is a whole nother mind-bending, impossible to comprehend, horrible situations, because on one hand, you love somebody, you run through anger, you run through depression, you run through hate, you run through resentment as you see the selfishness that goes into someone who is an absolute slave to their alcohol or their drugs or whatever their deal is. And this is a roller coaster that people who don't have an addiction, we can't follow this because we've never had that addiction. We can't fathom how someone we used to know or used to love or still love and are trying to know, as hard as you try to understand, you can't understand how they are so completely and totally addicted. You can't understand why they will look you in the eye and lie to you about everything or anything to get what they need. And it's not your love anymore. It's not your appreciation. It's not your brotherhood, your sisterhood, your fatherhood, your motherhood. It's not a family relationship anymore. What they need and all they need at that moment is their next fix. And they'll do anything to get it. As a family member, just trying to mentally wrap your mind around these things is mind-bending. You can't do it. You can't. And unless you're a rehab specialist, maybe you are, but I'm not, the chances of you having a positive effect or affecting positive change, I'm not saying don't try. It's part of the natural process of loving somebody that has given themselves to addiction or has been stolen by their addiction. What I will tell you is you can't make somebody quit. You know, let's put it on easy street. Smokers. How many of you tried to make a smoker quit? It's an addiction. Good luck trying to get a smoker to quit. Now let's imagine rock cocaine, meth, heroin, PCP, any one of the others. You can't do it. And you need to stop feeling bad about the fact that you can't do it. It's not your responsibility. It has grown outside of your ability as a family member to have that positive effect. So what does that leave you with? What does it leave me with? That leaves me with love for someone that at times I want to knock their teeth out. At times I want them in prison forever. At times I want to hold them. At times I end up holding a loved one who just cries uncontrollably at the loss and the devastation that this person has brought into our family life. What does it leave you with? It leaves you with pain, it leaves you with anguish, it leaves you with hopelessness, it leaves you with loss. It's interesting mourning someone who is alive like they're dead because they're gone. It's a shell of someone that you used to know. That's what addiction is. This isn't the human that we knew. It's not the person I know and hasn't been for a long time. If you're gonna be honest with yourself and you're gonna acknowledge that it's just not gonna get better on its own, what does that leave you with? This isn't like you make this decision right now. You come to this decision quickly. This is a process, and it's a different process for everybody. Everybody deals with a loved one that has an addiction in a different way. So that's another hard part to understand. While you may be ready to throw them in prison, throw away the key, lock them up, get rid of them, get them out of the family life. I'm tired of watching them hurt my family. Someone else that you love in that family who also loves them may be nowhere near that page. And now not only can you not do what you think is best, but now you've got to negotiate or try to reason with someone else that you love about a subject that's ripping out both of your hearts, or all of your hearts, depending on your family span. And how do you get everybody to agree on something that is so potent and powerful? How do you get a mother who spent her early life raising a child? She remembers the little baby, her little boy, her little girl. What a good little boy they were, what a good little girl they were. And that's what they remember when they look at this teenager or this grown man or this grown woman. I meet opposition within my own family of people who aren't ready to see this little boy put in the slammer where he belongs. Could he get hurt in jail? Yep. Yep, absolutely. Could she get hurt in jail? Yep, absolutely. Could he or she definitely get hurt if they continue to do drugs whenever they want to at the home? Furthermore, within my experiences in my extended family, I've had two of the ladies in my family come over to me with bruises all over their body. And this is when this person was just an alcoholic, just beholden to booze. And the other day, someone in my family, not in my home, was woken up at gunpoint in the middle of the night. He could steal the keys to a car and go get his fix. These people are not safe in your home. They're not safe around you. They are bad for the family. They are bad for the children. They're bad for the adults. And even if you know it, like I know you know it, finding the fortitude with which to make the right decision to keep everyone safe, including them, means you gotta get them out of the house. If that means jail, if it means an ambulance with handcuffs to an addiction center, fine. And addiction centers aren't always it. There's no quick fix. It's gonna rip your guts out. It's gonna rip the guts out of everybody in your family. And it's gonna take a long time for everybody to get over it. The best thing you can do is get the addict out of your lives and make yourself safe, make your loved ones safe, and pray that when they get to jail or they get to rehab, that it'll hold. It's not a pleasant topic. I'm not an expert. The buck doesn't stop with me. Double check what I say. It's fine with me. I encourage you to double check it all so you really truly understand everything you possibly can when referencing addiction. And that's about all you can do with it. At least that's about all I can think to do with it. If you have ideas, I'm open, man. Educate me.
My name is Tiffany, and I am a recovering drug addict. I was addicted to drugs for 10 years, and I have 5 years clean. I am not a doctor or a psychiatrist. I am an addict. But I feel like somebody out there needs to hear what I want to share with you today, and that's why I'm in my closet in the middle of the night. making this video. I have a Facebook group. I posed a question to the group, and I said, if you could give one meaningful piece of advice to the loved one of an addict, what would it be? And I got 150 responses from people in active addiction, people with multiple years clean, and people who have never touched a drug in their life but have a loved one who's addicted. I want to tell you the top answers that I got, because the amount of people that are dying each day from overdoses is astounding. And nobody knows what to do, and everybody's running around feeling helpless and hopeless. And so I'm hoping that by giving you some perspective from the mouth of an addict, that it might help and give you some insight. And it might not, and that's okay too, but I gotta try. One of the answers that I got a lot was let them fall. If you have a loved one who's addicted and you're running around chasing them with a pillow to catch them and soften their fall before they hit rock bottom, they're never gonna experience the consequences of their choices. And as an addict, we have to be so sick and tired of living that lifestyle that we want to make a change. And once we want to make a change, only then will we become willing to do whatever it takes to bust our butts for a new life. Which is why, as the loved one of an addict, you have to make sure that whatever you're doing is not helping us to continue living comfortably in that active addiction lifestyle. And that brings me to number 2, enabling. There's a difference between enabling and loving, and I can break it down and make it really simple for you. If an addict is happy with you, you're probably enabling. If an addict is angry at you, you're probably trying to save their life. Enabling essentially is loving someone to death. The thing about enabling, which this is the part that's going to tick some people off, and I'm sorry in advance, if you love an addict and you are giving them a warm bed to sleep in at night, you are giving them money, and you are buying them cigarettes, you are doing things to make their lives easier, you are not doing it to help them. You are doing it to help you. And I'm not trying to make anybody feel bad or feel guilty. I'm just trying to share the truth with you because it's imperative that you recognize this. I can't imagine how hard it is to watch your son or daughter wither away to a shell of the person that they used to be, to the point where they're unrecognizable. I can't imagine it. It's devastating. I'm just hoping to let you know from the addict's point of view so that maybe you can reevaluate some choices that you're making. Hopefully you can get this person on the right track to getting better. And you can love that person and tell them, I love you so much and I'm here for you and I will always be here for you. I just can't give you money anymore. I can't let you stay here. And it's because I love you. And that addict is probably going to call you names and tell you that they hate you and they hope you die. And you have to decide which is more painful for you, to be called names and have your loved one be angry at you, or to bury that person. Somebody in the group said, make sure that you don't cut yourself from picking up their broken pieces. When you love somebody, you want so desperately to fix them. But the truth of the matter is, as an addict, nobody's coming to save me. I have to save myself. You have to make sure that you are taking care of yourself. Another thing is you have to know that it's not your fault. You cannot blame yourself. My stepfather was a police officer. My mom was a paralegal. My upbringing was amazing. I was a cheerleader. Everything was good, but the problem was me, and the problem was within me. And there's nothing that my parents could have said or done differently that would have prevented the way that I turned out. It was just something in me, which is why it's up to me to fix it. The last thing I want to tell you is that if your loved one is out there and they're using, but they have breath in their body and a beat in their heart, then it is not too late for them to change. And you should always, always, always keep hope alive. And there's no such thing as a lost cause. You have to know that.